our youth, they've got this sense of entitlement. It time alarm. You know, ingamla. Kuna the issue labantu ba-inherite into ezibhaya. These people are trust fund baby. So wonke umuntu feels ukuthi ngathi uyakolodwa. Hence even now it's very difficult for the government ukuthi ime vertical above the ground, because everyone feels ukuthi 350 entitled to yona. 1000 something yabomagoka I'm entitled to yona. Anything enzakala escale just because ukuthi asistopeni corporal punishment. Then nina seni eligible manje to iparule ukuthi ni free, you must bask in the sun. So everyone feels ukuthi lo mhlaba lo kahle entitlement. People, they think ukuthi umhlaba uyabakolota. You know, when you go to prison as an inmate or as an offender, I don't know what you call it, the next thing you come back, you are integrated back to the society. All of a sudden you feel ukuthi mele sikunikeza a hero's welcome. You are not a Madiba. You did not go to prison for fighting for South Africa or a liberation of this country at least. Instead, you went there where you committed crimes, heinous crimes like some of us. We did heist and all of that. But why would I expect the heroes welcome?
It's every boy's line, and no one can stop me. When I jump, you just run it for me. And don't I see you gotta know this. Bang, bro. It's every boy's line, and no one can stop me.
Oh yeah, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Catch here. We are back with another exciting episode, and this one I have to tell you, it's the best by far, because I'm honored to be with this brother of mine here. Is guys, so I've always heard the cast and Masakula. It had like the wildest sound ever. You understand? If Bokian is praying, you know the Karakarani Blue it had a number of pages kimchi. You know who I'm talking about. So with me today, I'm here in the Khotmani. Themba Nzimande. How are you, my brother? Nah, I'm good. It's such an honor to be sitting right in front of you.
Thank you for having me.
No.
I'm in love with black talent. I'm just here just because of profession.
Yeah.
You know, we all started somewhere.
Yeah.
Somehow, I figure now, you know, it's so hectic. But turn it down. When you have got a vision and a dream, somebody else says it's a pipe dream, this thing. Yeah, it really would dampen your spirit. But it's always good to see young people doing a good thing. It's a great thing. Congratulations, guys. I hope you are not a fly by night. We are not here just to be on the net. The next thing was in front of Santon.
Yeah.
Under one by one. So shoot.
No, thank you very much. So, I just want to start from the beginning. You understand? Because I'm sure, let's not go back, but then, I'm sure you know Lucky was one of Uncle Lam, I understand? So, I want you to take me back, because me seeing you now, the man that you've become, you're so successful in business, so successful in giving back, you understand? Where does that come from? Like, it's because it must come from somewhere. You can't just, I'm sure Umama Lakona is proud with you. Like, he became this today. He's driving the car that he's driving today. You understand? Where did it all stand?
Yeah. I think it's self-awareness, self-realization. When you realize routine, you've got an attribute or the qualities of a leader, there's really nothing that would stop you. And also, if failing 10 times, 100 times, or failure. So if I can tell you, out of the businesses, if I had 10, 9 of them have collapsed, and the only one would, be vertical above the ground and stand. But I always, believed when God gives you an opportunity, He creates a place and He puts a person. Where now, what you need to do is to make the best out of it. So I've always stretched myself too thin. That is why more risk. More risk. You'd enter in the places louder than you're not. And also when I go and you listen to my interviews, I always try not to repeat what I've said yesterday or in another interview. Sure. So that people would learn. Now that's how you measure a level of success. How do you measure a level of success? A lot of other people would say, if I drive a car, Porsche cars and whatever, that's how we measure a success. And the success in Vanity success when you can help other people. What's in figure? If you use and a passion, when I see musicians, I become so inspired. So because I'm a musician, you are paid by a talent and a gift from God. You fine-tune the talent, The next thing we have works in. There's nothing too good, land like put on the SMS, but go for a podcast, go for an interview. You know what? It's something that is instilled and engulfed and engraved in me. When I get there, I'm just going to give people the heart-wrenching experience. So it all stems from a young, typical township boy, but who has made so many mistakes. I'm always saying, when you want someone who is perfect, akekho umuntu perfect emhlabeni. Maybe if you go to Woolies, Tony Fridge, you juice about 100%, then you find the juice, but not too much. So as we out in May, I've got so many negatives that are my positives. But our God is not a God of second chance, but a God of many chances. He's given them a chance, and I always try not to miss the opportunity. I no longer live in times, but I live in moments.
Wow. Very profound, very profound. No, like I understand. It's like it's not just about you, but then I love the fact that you mention in everything that you do. You understand? Because you can't just wake up and say I'm gonna be great by myself. You understand? God will guide everything that we do, and we should often use second chances.
Yeah.
Say that, right? So I love that like you are so good in God, how they you understand like it's success is not just in Japan, it's success. Yeah. So another thing I'm not getting out of it, I understand. As being like la cara yo. Fulani keep a like what inspired you with like la cara because it was the thing, the car. You understand? The car was the thing. When we see this character, we know it's the whole this game team.
Yeah, there's something that's called a sentimental value. Abogogo bethu, abomamkhulu, abomamncane, those who actually have tasted riches and tasted the depths of poverty, a lot of them, kuba nento abangafuni ngayo. Kwabona ugogo wakho unekhisti ayibekile dandle. You ask yourself, would that be khisti kahle kahle? Yeah, what's the story with this khisti lokuhleli la? Kunencwadi ezingasuki, kunetafula, uyalibona na kulizwile le, nenyawo liwana lisekho. Warugogo akafuni ngale tafula. Mawugogo ubeka ama-canned fruit lapha ugcwalisile ngokuthi birthday. Kwenzakalani? Those are sentimental values. So we can't, as young people, yini into nama-sentiments na? Besides umjolo, that is why abantu bahluleka ukuhlukana baze babulalane, because the only thing wefunayo ukuthi okay, I'm attached to human beings. You have to have that something that's going to be a unifying factor. So that's just me and my eye and my brains and my ideas that no, I'm gonna give birth to this thing. So Leandro, from into ibonayo, the only original thing it's a wiring, the other VW, no 2.6 but anything else, it was designed by myself. Freehand, no Mr. Munir. And then at that time, I was a higher speeder. I remember a Trumpy's being a pass, maybe it's a Trumpy pass. So this was the best thing after that pass, the Trumpy. So it has a big and a huge sum. So Munir right now fit. Zwagala, I'm building something, so this would be a most expensive at that time. That was 2006. So I went to a lens and we started building. When we were putting the speakers, not man. Ama amps, no, it was a concept document. When I hamba, Lendon was saying it's at 11, but I gave him a free flow for him to exercise his gift and a talent. With the right craft and a call. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Screen, I mean, M3 yokuqala, one of the M3s ukuthi zibe ne-screen esivulekayo ku-dashboard. Masibona drive car na music, it was my M3. So same as the past, I did pretty much the same thing. And ngathi ngifuna amalonje lizolonjwa bangilaunch culture scheme where we gave birth to a nightlife for people to know ukuthi ukugcoka ukufaka istiletto yini. It happened back in 2006 when we converted to 2007. All roads were leading to a scheme. So Nepal ultimately not normal. Just because I want to come up with the brand Ekulmamin, I used to call people Scheme Son, my friend, my Badir. So the SKWEM was just a signature in Dona Segas. But the aim was to say, in News Cafe, but I'm going to scheme. Let me convert. Mhlambe bangise Northwest to Scheme N, bangise FS to Scheme FS. So I was going to have the Scheme GP in all 9 provinces, but with the signature of the Yama provinces, as it were. But obviously time elapsed and we came with the concept document, but we were supposed to have this idea, a prototype, so that once it's tried and tested, then we could always say, okay, we say tick, then Cessna move on to other provinces. Unfortunately, again, it was short-lived. We ran for about 3 years, but it was 3 solid good years. Not just. I mean, I'm a tourist who in the airport, but straight to Vilakazi Street. But after we came and gave them an excuse or a reason, even though they felt this is posh, this is premium compared to cars, this is Rolls Royce, and we are paying exorbitant monies. But people that paid for good quality, and also, I mean, beautiful things, but they come to those who wait, and you need to pay for isn't the one I would know lazy. So, and we had a culture, and when we created the culture, after a scheme, I can tell you now, immediately after a year or so, we had about 20 outlets in copycat with Scheme GP. So I'm happy to say I'm a vision bearer, and I gave birth to something today beautiful. I'm writing books now. So far, we are having people who are up and coming. But I mean, out of I've got a second book, the documentary. People are still watching and saying, immediately after my doc is out, 10 years later, there will be somebody else who will come and say, no, man, it was not a documentary. I'm not saying we don't have talent, people who are producing. I'm talking about the autobiography, something that's based on your life. You are only 44. I just turned 44, but I started shooting my doc, I think I was 39. So, but so people will figure out because this must have a 60 kind of documentary life here. I've got a rich history, I've got a rich life, so why not? You understand? In terms of content, I've got rich content and solid content. That is why I said, no man, I mean, against our mistakes, okay, let me pen my thoughts and open my life to people so that I will not fully from my mistakes. It's going to expand my preventative measures.
You said so much, but then the highlight for me was the signature of his scheme. Now we have his scheme GP as a whole, which has his scheme kingpin, kingpin mastermind, and we have his scheme GP foundation. When I looked at the scheme GP foundation, I loved it so much, like so dearly, because there was this vision now when he started Caterpillar Academy. The first vision of the Caterpillar Academy was to go into prison and teach financial literacy. You understand? So that was the first vision. That's when we gave birth to the podcasting. Understand? So imagine, I mean, I'm thinking about like in a foundation, like for you to open that foundation, like I know with some of the values or some of the behind if I scheme GP foundation is was to ukuthi abashida abaphuma ngala bathola isibani since vele thina ngapha ngaphandle society regarded as ex-offenders. Understand? We don't want to take them in the community, but then you find that there's smart people abaphuma ngala who are way smarter than umuntu ongayi. Understand? We have the likes of you uhleli nami ngaphakathi, but then like so many accolades, I can't even hold, like I don't know busy about, but there's so much. You understand? Those the reason. If we're going to come to the books, because I have a funny story about the books because this is that. So the foundation, I love what you do because now I can relate to what you're doing because it's something. I have someone who he passed on. So he was very smart. So but when it comes to finance, he once told me it was like the guy that said, if let me this and be successful, about it because why is it like because you're gonna change their life because I'm a forex trader, folks. Understand? So if you were to go there, teach the guys how to trade, they can make money while they're still inside. Understand? If you were to go here, like totally sponsors this guy, PC this guy you can make the division alive. Understand? So you here being with me, I know with Manga partnership now, it's something that's gonna be possible. You understand? We just need to give it time because I understand what you're beautiful. You're busy. I just need to consider all of the things. So the foundation, like we are because massive. I'm sure yes, it can be what we read on our website, but then it goes deeper than that.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's something that's dating way back. It's over 15 years now. Remember when we talk about social responsibility, social cohesion. And just helping people, it means you must be connected. You can't be so, and also you don't just create followers, but you must create more leaders. So I said I want to create more scheme GPs, mini scheme GPs. And the funny part is diagonal opposite from where these studios are located in this grounding. That's where it all began. Opposite Gawama Prison. This is where I was pushing AMA tournaments. So when Orla Gift Remy they came to play, it was because of the vision and under his scheme, and then there were many about Tiki and them. So a lot of Amachita, they came just to support us and just to scout also talent. I remember we brought Mike Mangena just to come and scout talent. So that was about giving back. I always say a candle does not lose light by giving light to another candle. Love will just remain a word until somebody comes along and give it a meaning. So if we love one another, Merumdak so much that in the easy echo, go number close to useless. Now feel so because of love that I had for Abantu, Marty, let's diversify. We can't only have or be narrowed down to scheme Marty's business soccer games. Let us just focus because recidivism. Recidivism is re-offending. You go to prison, so that's when we started saying, okay, let's sponsor Amachida AJ. So the foundation then we had more components, and we had said, no man, you cannot fill from an empty jug. Nothing away to self. We need some batteries. We need to be empowered. So Scheme One was making money as a component or as an entity or an organization. We needed to form another organization, which was Scheme GP Foundation, where we could disseminate and try to amplify message, but through this good gesture. We call it a humanitarian cause. And it worked very well, and it worked magic because we saw many people, including government entities and other ministers today. I mean, last 2-3 weeks on my birthday, Minister of Social Development, Minister Lindiwe came to my party, General Sibia, Hawksbox. So all of them, they wouldn't, sway into this direction if I was substandard. And sometimes you must be trusted with small things in order for Nkulunkulu to. So I had to be very trustworthy with this gift of people. So I love people more than anything. So if you may ask me, in this room yesterday, Nelson Mandela Foundation. So there were different inmates from all across the world. Everyone, and there was one guy who stood up there. What he has invented the way I'm so passionate about inmates. If there's anyone in this room, also I would give my heart to that person. That's just my sentiment. The way I love people, I understand so you hustling guys, I would have been in so many other places. I would have been, with many other people. But just because the love that I have for Ikasiam, why would I invest and go shine at Township and go shine in Sentin and fail? Light a stone throw away from it. 2009 and more especially in Tachikasiam. I was born and raised. So Imgati, Namanyama sentimental values. I mean, that's where I started learning the intricacies of life. Magli, Waglenda was viable. Give by battleground. Lana baby so domane komor nga fai mundula, and we were the ones in was only 15 years of age. Chambabanda ba poli la eka we base lana by AK-47. I ended up stealing one in years care. It was I wanted to be a worship. So today it's good for me, and it's very important for me to amplify this message and make noise about the past until somebody out there's someone who's listening to this podcast and saying, but I wonder if Lomundo Kulmayo is immune to pain. So for me to revisit the dark tunnel in my past, and that will also catch a spark somewhere. I'm down and out for the last and final count. What can one do if anything else say a failure? Anything that I touch, it turns to ashes. So I have been, and if we tempt me, so I've been. If so I've done all of these things. So if you ask them, so young people, and it's very difficult for us to say, guys, yes, we're exposed to other things, but man, social media, sexual even respect because they wanna over and it was difficult. Contact to move being in a line you mode your communication, but not as since with click of a button, you just feel, and that is why I'm saying there is no chance or a way why we should not have young people who are thriving or surviving or Abantu who are making it big Our excuse, because you can take your own phone. I mean, pen or pen. Now, teachers, but they always preach about this. Good guys, if phone you come out kuluma until YouTube people recognize, you are just going to get money spent with the click of a button. Today, we was come among and say check in.
True.
Life, it's so opportunities are there. I'm not saying life is simple. Now the challenges are, you've got challenges and difficulties and temptations as young people, but God is the last word. It's very important for you. God is such a gentleman. In fact, Jesus Christ himself, he will never force himself to you. So once you acknowledge and say, okay, I'm giving my life to Christ, I don't care whether you embrace Ushembe, whether Islamic religion, whether Buddha, the fact remains is no man can live off bread alone. We need a spiritual element.
I have to take that in. Because so much gems are being dropped. You understand? So much gems are being dropped. And my experience on now, wow. And imagine, you mentioned it was like, why Tina, like, see, as a youth, why do you think it was Tina see youth, like, see, Saba Uguwa? Because, like, scenario, yeah, I need to make it work now. But then, if it doesn't work now, then we quit. We go and mention Lama drugs, we go and smoke Lama drugs, we go and do all those things, we go and give ourselves to alcohol. Why scenario looking at it in LCU? Like, why do we always have to? Because even if no man has money, see a Puma money, but she's okay. Can offer us a balance of the motor. See, in Jaka is spaghetti in Yabona is slow. Why do we always have to rush the process? Because now you are 44 years, you have 44 years of experience. You understand? 44 years of experience, it's too much because you've lived, you've seen it all. You understand? And it would be smart for me to come and ask advice for you. You understand? But okay, I'm doing this podcast now. We also have a podcast. What is it that I'm doing bad? I don't know if it's somewhere. But I need to put in feel like if I guy on to me because here I come now. You understand? I do come go okay, I don't feel that advice. Then you understand? Sometimes we hear them over Funa Jima before we go because we are sitting at the big boys table. You understand? So what would you say? We would say, okay, I figure away. I'm not man. This is where he understand. Then some one at Pesha, we shall be too. You understand? Because see how much they cast in Jan. But still consider the fact that this guy is busy first. You understand? So Mumtola se phone in, he before Nako, Mamela be in tea. Understand? And you know, you must have a sudden just rate. You understand? If not, we should share to man so like shoot straight to the point. You understand? What makes you think with Tina see you the scenario today?
It's a sense of entitlement. That's just the answer. A sense of entitlement. People they think you know, when you go to prison as an inmate or as an offender, I don't know what you call it. The next thing you come back, you are integrated back to the society. All of a sudden, you feel which Melisik as a hero's welcome. You are not a Madiba. You did not go to prison for fighting for South Africa or a liberation of this country at least. Instead, you went there where you committed crimes or heinous crimes like some of us, we did heist and all of that. But why would I expect the hero's welcome? You have done nonsense, Yako. You have done your time. Come back, be humble, because on a criminal record. So, Abba youth, they've got this sense of entitlement. A time alarm. You know, Ingam, the issue with abantu ba-inherita into zibhaya. These people are about trust fund, baby. So wonke umuntu feels ukuthi ngathi uyakolodwa. Hence even now it's very difficult for the government ukuthi ime vertical above the ground because everyone feels ukuthi 350 you're entitled to yona. 1,000 something yabomagogo I'm entitled to yona. And anything enzakala escale just because we assist of any corporal punishment, then nina seni eligible mind to iparule wouldn't be free, you must bask in the sun. So everyone feels ukuthi lo mhlaba lo kahlakazi uyabakolodwa. So and they need to do as they please. Mawufika ukuthi ufuna ukufaka discipline. I suffer with discipline because sekunalomthetho police station ukuthi nena umntwana unama rights wakhe in as much as abazali. So ubona hlanga I did a video the other day ngidlula technical school technical line. And I know with the administration, the under ingamba no. So it's not about a color or creed or a texture or skin, but it's about the brains of it. So this skin, sometimes ne issue. I was listening to Grootman who is Israeli, so we're shooting actually a podcast here, success. Who Israel says, you know, issue the skin, what for condemned, and sometimes a leopard will never change its spots. You know, sometimes you must give people a benefit of the doubt. But when trouble is inevitable, this person, I can give him the studio nale mic nan walk away. She into six zala next to I am telling you, to sponge. That's how bad it is. So at times we just need to be very real and be very brutal. I must offend you in order for me to afford you. So who's aranja sikulume but talking without speaking. I need to speak to you in a sense when you are sitting down and thinking, and you need to realize your problems, and after realizing, get out of your comfort space, because because everyone who feel good are very manna from heaven. Not as you work for these things. I don't care whether you feel good. No, Tina Sevens and Active Style, Zoamba Sales, Plomel, and the winning to Chilabuyo, Master Tile, Zotolama Chidai 5. Veteran Patan, Uze Patale. I don't care whether you are a male or a female, I equal into your man. There's no free meal, that's exactly. No free meal, you are panting, and now you are paying with sweat and blood, because you can't be free and see your kids and see your parents and see your people. You can't date, you can't even have sex, because you're into if I don't awumazi ukuthi uzalwa kuphi lo muntu omunye kudala bulala abantu ngaphandle une-energies wakabhad. The next thing when you come, you feel ukuthi yazi abantu ba-obligated bayankolota. This is not a monarchy, njani. People should just get off their high horses, behle on the premises osebenza. In fact, if I would humble myself down, I came back from prison, I had nothing, and I had to say, okay, after a long again, a guy who owned 22 cars, today I run a low Porsche, whatever. I had to say, okay, I'll think against the cushion man. Cushion I say, I'm going to straight the plank. Now let me forget about the ego, the pride, the joys, the highs and the lows. And Logutu Utemba, he was big as a chief or a prince or a king. Namhlanje you're a pauper. Start all over again and build from scratch. Let me press a restart. I press a reset button. I made myself a seed. A seed, it's already dead. But you plant it onto the ground, you close with the soil, it germinates, it grows. So people who buried me, they thought we were killing this man. Actually, they were elevating me. Trampoline, my brother. You need to jump first. The trampoline you point an arrow. It cannot launch before you pull it back until it launches. So this is just life. I'm just saying these are nuggets for people who are sitting right there would know life is not an audition. You get only one chance to play your part. Wafa ufile, and there's no one who's going to come out alive out of this thing. That's called life.
Like I'm so touched. Like I'm touched. Shy because like it's you know like it's too much. I understand it's too much, guys, because we feel like we entitled, you know, like why does it have to be that way? Like why Singapore me so hassy? Now Grootman he came back like from nothing. I remember we opened a restaurant, Ep.16, basically, I understand. And the restaurant, I think I don't know, you decided to relocate it somewhere else, yeah?
It did not do well. It's one of the businesses. That is why I'm saying out of 10, 9 collapsed. It's one of them.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
So, the funny story about the book, I remember no stash, about stash, we yeah. So we once saw you at Christmas. Somewhere in Soweto. Themba Skeem, boy. He's selling books. Like what? You understand? And then it got me thinking, it's okay. I mean, so if he's a hustler, he goes out there himself and stand in the sun. Yeah. It says a lot about the character. You understand? It says a lot about him. Because if you have the cash, you can go out and sell it. Yeah. But then you handing out the book, I am telling my story. This is my story. I am telling you my story. Like, what was running through your head? Because maybe I might have a different interpretation with regards to why you were there, why you went out when I was think, I am selling my book. I understand? Because I think it was the first one, the cover is
orange.
Yeah.
No, you need to be selfless. First thing is, you need to, die in sin and be alive in Christ, because I had to die and rose again, not in literal sense, but of course, when you talk about prison, so I went to prison. It means I died. When I came back, the resurrection. So that is why my documentary today is called Resurgence. Resurgence, it is a process that has stopped completely. Then the next thing, start another life again. So this is the life that I live, because God has given me that chance to say, in fact, you live to die another day. So this was just an opportunity and a faith between myself and God. So I've made a covenant with God. Look, I wonder if you can save me from this situation. I'm gone. I would never do anything wrong again. So that is why I'm meeting Nabu. Forget about 210, but I would want to prison. I want to never say never. I'm telling you, I'm saying never.
Thank you very much. I still have a lot, but I understand we have time. I understand. Yeah, we have unpack some time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the time.
Love you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. So
support.
Yeah.
Please subscribe and like and comment.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, don't have the cast. I'm ambassador of the youth.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. See you.